Today's class is special, and I'm going off of experience from my own body being an athlete with hypermobile joints. And even if you don't have hypermobile joints, this class will be awesome. It's always good to mindfully move through movements and think about your muscles. So that's what we're going to be focusing on mostly today, is engaging our muscles, feeling how our bodies are stacked in different positions. And you might think we're moving slower, but it'll still be a good workout. And we'll be just, building strength in mostly our hips and shoulders and chest and everything, and working our way out. And we'll going through range of motion of joints, all that fun stuff. So for today's class, you will need a towel. Doesn't have to be gigantic. It could be like a little dish towel. And it could be dirty because you're going to use it with your feet. So don't even think it needs to be clean. Dirty dish towel, some sort of cloth would be good. And then just a yoga mat. All right. Cloth, yoga mat, telephone. All right, so before we get started, I want to show the skeleton. So the skeleton has seen better days. Skeleton's kind of floppy, but I'm using it to illustrate the fact that the skeleton is not using any of its muscles to keep its, bones doing things. So like I can totally bend this elbow backwards if I wanted to. There's nothing holding me back. And that's kind of how I feel having hypermobile joints. Sometimes, I can, go back. And maybe if I'm not engaging, maybe if I go back a little bit too far, I'm gonna, tear one of my ligaments, because our ligaments and tendons are a little bit more stretchy than most people's. So this is your bones, and just kind of notice, kind of take that in for a moment and think of this as your body, and know that everyone's body is different. Your bones may not look the same, especially this hip region. I think this is a dude. But everyone's body is different. So like I said, even if you don't have hypermobile joints, thinking about how your body is stacked when you're standing is always a good idea, especially because the way that you move your body for most of your day is how you train your body to act. So our bodies kind of are on autopilot, doing the best things that they think are good for us. So if you're sitting down most of your day like this, your body's going to be like, I don't need these glute muscles. I can maybe shorten the hips a little bit. And then before you know it, after like sitting for 10 hours a day, this becomes your walking. So just taking note of maybe how you spend your day, and, taking breaks to do exercise, breaking up the monotonous motions that you do with your body is really, really good to keep your muscles active. So today, if you missed it, you'll need a little clothy rag. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. You'll scrunch your feet without it. All right, so let's find ourselves in our parallel position like we usually do, standing. Making sure your legs are right underneath your hips and that your toes are facing forward. Try to relax your arms. And this time we're going to close our eyes as we breathe. So now you're just breathing normal with your eyes closed. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And noticing how your breath goes up and down your body. Notice maybe little tiny movements in your body, maybe swaying forward or backward, maybe side to side. And as you breathe, start to imagine that you are the boss. And you're going to walk around your place of work where you work, and you're going to notice all the different muscles in your body and see what they're doing. Time to go through your body and take kind of inventory of what your body's been doing, because bodies are on autopilot doing the best things that they know for our bodies without our mind being involved sometimes. So it leaves our space for our mind to think about other things. But now we're going to think about our body. So still with your eyes closed, take a big deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And then open up your eyes and take another big deep breath in. Exhale it out. So feeling yourself stacked here with your legs, start to shift your weight forward and backward. And a lot of times people will be, pronated. You'll have the inward slant of your foot. I have that. So try to notice how your foot is gripping the floor as you shift forward and back. Maybe you notice things that are happening in your leg muscles. Maybe your knees are bending a little bit. Maybe you try to keep this all straight. Maybe try to engage your abs. And then start to shift right and left. And you can go slow or fast. But just think about what your feet are doing. Again, if you're shifting your weight forward or backward and not just directly side to side. Notice if the outward part of your foot likes to go a little bit more or less. Notice what your leg muscles are doing. Notice if you're holding tension in your shoulders. And then start to draw circles, transferring weight now from toes to heels, all the way around, testing your balance just a little bit. You should feel this going all the way up your legs, maybe in your hips a little bit. Don't forget to breathe. You can use your breath to stir it around. Reverse your circles. Maybe you think of this as a little bit of a massage underneath your feet. Notice if your feet are walking out to the side or if they're coming in closer. Mine like to go out to the side. Try to keep them right underneath your hips. And then come to your complete stop. Good. And then relax, take a deep breath. And then just with the right foot, we're gonna lift, peel it off to the toe point, and then lower it back down, articulating back down, just with that right foot. Shift the weight back to center, and then shift, lift, and peel it back down. And that's all we're doing. Notice how the weight shifts. Maybe you can try to decrease that shift using your abs. Articulating through the joints of your foot. 2 more. And then we'll go right into that left foot. So pressing down, lift. Notice what that other one's doing. Engage the quad to keep that leg straight. Maybe you're engaging your abs a little bit. So you lift and shift. Again, if you need to go slower to really see what's going on in your foot, feel free to go slow, really press down. 1 more. Excellent. And then bring your arms out like airplane wings, and then flip your palms to face me. We're gonna curl the fingers in, make a fist, and then a little bit of wrist flexion here, and then rolling it out, extending the arms, fingers out. Open, and then again curling it in, a little bit of wrist flexion. Inhale to stretch, exhale, curl, inhale, stretch, exhale, curl, inhale, stretch. And then bring your fingers together and circle your wrists all the way around. And notice if your elbows are bending, or notice if they're hyperextending. Try to keep them neutral straight. Reverse your circles. You might feel weird twinges going up your arm, and that's a nerve that's being stretched a little bit. Good. And then bring your hands to a fist, thumbs on the outside, and same thing, circle your wrists all the way around. Keep breathing. Reverse your circles. Excellent. And then giant circles with the arms, but don't move the rest of your body. And feel these coming from your shoulders. Use your muscles and only go through whatever range of motion your shoulders are giving you. Try to move both arms at the same time. Also notice what your legs are doing if your legs have become soft. Try to keep your leg muscles active. Reverse the direction of your circles. Notice if your whole torso is moving around, try to keep it nice and still. Exhale, strong abs. And then stop with your arms out. Bring your hands to a fist with the thumbs on the outside again. And this time we're gonna circle the forearms and wrists all the way in, keeping your elbows in line with the shoulders. So if they're going down like this, bring them back up and find that rotation from the elbow down. And breathe. Notice if your shoulders are doing one of these too. Try to relax. Yeah, and then reverse your circles. Rotating inwardly and outwardly, all the way from the bicep, all the way up to the shoulder. Woo. Excellent. And then stopping here, float the arms down, and then circle your shoulders all the way forward and back. Make sure you're making a circle. So sometimes a D shape happens, weird zigzags, maybe one's going not the same as the other. Try to just notice those things. Notice any sounds that are happening. Get to know your body's sounds. Reverse the direction of your circles. Remember that your shoulders can go down and back and up and around. And then maybe think about those muscles, moving your shoulders all the way around. Noticing any sensations that are happening in your shoulders. Whew. And then come to a stop. Float your arms out like airplane wings. We're gonna lift the heels right and left now. So stretching up the arch of the foot as high as possible, transfer and down. And notice what's happening with your hips. The first one, my hip went. Don't do that. Stay strong in your hips. Push down with the heel to lift that knee. And breathe. Yeah, if your arms get tired, you can go down and then go back up. Notice if your knee is going in line with the toes too. So sometimes like that happens or that happens. Make sure it's going in line with your toes. Good. And then wherever you are, stay with one of those heels popped. See what's going on with your standing leg. Notice if you were sinking back. Try to have strong standing leg. Push down into the floor. Engage your abs. Lift the heel, press the ball of the foot down. Take a deep breath. And then roll over the top with gentle pressure, pointed toe. Take a deep breath. And then inhale to lift that knee. Exhale, float the leg down, and then press the other one. Check out what that hip's doing. Strong standing leg pressing down. Engaged quad muscle, engaged glute. Deep breath. Shoulders are relaxed. And then gentle pressure rolling over the top. Pointed toe, stretch your ankle. Deep breath. And then step your feet close together. Bend your knees, place your hands on the knees, and make circles. And try to keep the whole foot onto the floor when you do this. My heels like to pop up, so just try to notice those things about your body. Maybe you're not breathing. Why does that happen? Reverse your circles. Excellent. All right, then stopping here. We're gonna come back to our parallel position and do a little bit of balancing. So first we're gonna warm up our hip. Make sure you have your strong standing position, whatever that feels like for you. Stacked, right in your center, not shifted forward or back. Bring your arms out and reach the fingertips to the side walls without doing one of those with the elbows, keeping the arms engaged. Then shift the weight into your left leg. We're gonna lift the right knee up and down, back to toe for 8. And notice what's happening in your body. Strong standing leg presses down into the floor. Woo. 3, 2, last one, stay. And we're gonna draw 4 circles with our knee all the way around. You can touch down in between if you need to. Woo. And then reverse. And then when you're done, float that leg down, relax. You can shake out your hips, take a deep breath. All right, let's do the other one. So start here. Strong standing legs, abs are engaged right away, fingertips reaching toward the side walls. Strong arms, feel your arms coming from your back. Shift the weight into your right foot. Left foot's turned, lift and back to toe for 8. 7, notice if anything up here starts to get tense, try to relax. 5, 4, 3, everyone breathing. 2, last one, stay. Draw your 4 circles. This sit might feel a little bit different. Just work through whatever's going on. Whew. You can touch down if you need to. Reverse. Pushing down into the floor with that strong standing leg. Noticing if you're shifting off to the side. Don't do that. And then float it down, relax. You can shake out your hips. Breathe. Excellent. All right, so a little bit more balancing. This time we're gonna bring the knee to the front, the knee to the side, the knee to the back. Then we're gonna extend the leg straight. We're gonna try to bring it to the side and try to bring it to the front and then plop it down. So I'm gonna do this without my mats because I've got rug and mat and pronated feet working against me. All right, so first we're gonna have our strong standing position, our parallel, whatever that is for you. Feel your ab muscles engaged. Bring your arms out to the side. Shift the weight into your left leg. Strong standing left leg. Inhale, lift the front right knee. And take a deep breath. And then we're gonna move it to the side and see how that shifts your weight. When you get it there, take a deep breath. Strong standing leg. Feel what muscles are engaging to hold you into place. Relax your shoulders. Move your knee to the back. Ooh, my knee is still bent back there. Take a deep breath. Notice if your hips are lifted. Try to square them off. Belly button is spine. Extend your legs straight. Take a deep breath. Relax shoulders. Bring your leg to the side. Ooh. Find it and take a deep breath. And then bring it all the way to the front. Notice how your weight is shifted. Engaged abs, strong standing leg, deep breath. And then come all the way down. Whoo, shake that out. So I really like working and balancing because it helps you find your good alignment or else you literally fall. And for me, it's really hard for me to find my alignment because my legs don't know where they're supposed to be sometimes. So, all right, let's start with our strong foundation again. Legs underneath hips. Take a deep breath in and out. Exhale, feel how your body's stacked, strong onto the floor. Arms reach out for stability. Shift the weight now into your right foot. Lift your left knee in front. When you get it to wherever you like, take a deep breath. Feel how you feel. And then when you're ready, bring it out to the side. Go at your own speed. Use your breath. Belly button pulls deep toward your spine and then extend it straight. Squeeze your butt. Keep your hips in line. Deep breath, relax shoulders. And off to the side. Adjusting those hips. Where are they? Ah. Stretching both legs strong. then to the front. Engaged quad, and then lowering it down. Whew, giving yourself a break, shake it out. Excellent work. All right, next we're gonna work in a squat. I'm gonna bring my mat back because we're gonna move back to the floor. Oh my gosh, we need to hurry. We must hurry. All right, so in our squat position, I'm gonna do these facing this way so you can see what's going on, but legs should be parallel. Maybe a little bit wider than the hips. Also, if it feels good for you, externally rotated just a little bit from the hips, that's okay. So it doesn't have to be like completely like modern dance parallel. You can have whatever is going on from your hips, but make sure that the rotation's not coming from your knees. So sometimes like we are like, yeah, look at me, I'm so turned out. And it's coming from your knees, and that's so terrible. So when you go into your squat, make sure your knees are in line with your toes and that you've got a good hip situation. So I'm gonna turn this way. All right, bring your arms out in front like a zombie with your palms down. Relax your shoulders, find out where your shoulders sit back there. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, slowly start to bend your knees and like you're gonna sit down into a chair behind you. So I'm arching my tailbone up. I'm pressing my heels down into the floor because the weight is in my back part of my foot. And I'm reaching my fingertips forward to counteract that balance without pulling my shoulders into my ears. So we're gonna stay here for 2 deep breaths. Just feel how your leg muscles are kind of like pulling. This is wrapping around. Just breathe. Again, feel how the shoulders are kind of in the back. Maybe you can sink down a little bit deeper, see what that feels like. All right, then take a deep breath in. On your exhale, push your heels down into the floor. We're gonna straighten the legs. And then bring your arms down by your side, fingertips reaching down. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, we're gonna hinge forward at our waist, bringing us to a tabletop position. So now we're shifting the weight forward into the toes, less into the heels. My fingertips are reaching toward the back wall. The top of the head is reaching toward the opposite wall. So like I feel like my spine is like lengthening. And then check out your legs. This is a good one for hypermobile people. They tend to go back like this. Engage your quad, and that'll engage, keep the knee kind of soft but strong. And then shift the weight forward. Let's take 2 deep breaths here, nice and strong. One more inhale, maybe lengthen your spine a little bit further. And then exhale, lift yourself up. Whew, and then take a rest, deep breath. All right, I'm gonna space back to the front. Now we're gonna take a wide squat. And this one is externally rotated from your hips. So how do you find that, you say? You can take your leg out with a flexed foot, and then I always try to feel it, and it comes from my hip, and I set it down, hip, set it down, and I'll notice that like one has more or less, and that's completely normal. That's what happens with bodies. They're like cousins on each side. So my knees are in line with my toes once again. I'm gonna take care that I'm not doing one of these. And I'm gonna pay attention to squeezing my butt, this side butt here, and that's what's in charge of externally rotating the legs from the hips. So here we go. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Keep squeezing your butt, and exhale, bend the knees over the toes, sinking down in between. So none of this, right down in between. And then press down into the heels, lift up, squeeze your butt. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees over the toes. Good, keep going. Use your own breath. Feel what leg muscles are happening, lifting up out of your waist. Keep using your leg muscles. Good, do 2 more. Last one, we're gonna stay in the down position. Gently push your knees away. Bring your shoulders away from your ears if they're like this. And then squeeze your side butt and gently push your knees open a little bit wider. Whew. Take a deep breath. We're gonna do a primal squat, so if you need to step this foot in a little bit closer, and then sit your hips all the way down in between. Take your elbows, woo. If you can, press them into your knees, bring palms together, and then pull your belly button deep toward your spine, lengthen, lift shoulders away from the ears, and stay here and breathe. So primal squat is awesome. They say you should do it for 20 seconds a day, and it kind of resets not only just your internal organs, but like your joints and everything too. I like to take a look at what is going on. So I like to shift like this, because this hip is silly. So I always try to make sure that I'm nice and balanced, and just try to calm your breath. And remember, the breath tells your body that this is okay. All right, place your hands up to the floor. We're gonna straighten out our feet and knees so that they're facing the front. And then just relax your head, grab onto your elbows and shake your head, yes, up and down, nice and loose. And then shake it no. And then grab onto your legs, a little bit of a bend right and left, twisty hips, let your head relax. All right, and then let's go to the floor. What time do we have? So we're not gonna do the rag thing because I wanna talk about, maybe we will at the end actually. All right, so on the floor, let's go right into our hands and knees position because I wanna go over hands and knees tabletop, plank, and downward dog, because those are really places where I personally had issues figuring out where my shoulders were supposed to be, what my hips were supposed to be, because I'm just really bendy, and sometimes my body would be like, yeah, but I was overcompensating with my other parts of my body. So, tabletop position. You're gonna make sure that you're stacked underneath your joints. So what does that mean? Everyone's body is different, but you wanna make sure that like shoulders are right on top of where your palms are, and your knees are like right underneath your hips. And then I like to spread my fingers wide so I have lots of surface area down here, and I put the tops of my toes onto the floor to kind of stretch my ankles. Then you can either have your hands with your pointer finger facing directly in front, or you can have them crossing, and just kind of find where that is comfortable for you. I tend to have the crossing a little bit. Yeah, and then find equal weight with your palms and your fingers down into the floor, and then just start to make some motion with your shoulders all the way around, and move them with your muscles. Don't just try to like put them into space. Feel how your muscles are working in your shoulders. Equal weight palms and fingers down into the floor. And then switch to your hips. Move your hips all the way around, maybe forward and back, circle it around. See where they're going. Notice any sensations you might feel. You can go faster or slower than I'm going, but investigate your own body, breathe. Notice if your fingers like to go together. And then we're gonna try to find our center here now. So we've got our shoulders. Try to find where they feel good, maybe in your joints. Make sure they're in your joints and being supported by your muscles. Check out your elbows. Make sure that you're not hyperflexing your elbows if you have that. You wanna engage your bicep here. Sometimes I like to tap the muscle so it works. So you're pushing down into the floor. Your hips are not one lifted, you've got them both in line. And just stay here and breathe. In your center, your weight's not either forward or backward. You're strong like a table. Nothing's gonna roll off of you if we have breakfast on you. All right, and then tuck your toes under for a moment. We're gonna sit up onto our knees, clasp your fists together, and circle your wrists. And just relax the shoulders. Give yourself a reset. Reverse the direction of your wrists. All right, and then shake that out. All right, and then bring your hands back underneath to start underneath your shoulders. Check out what your elbows are doing. Toes are still tucked under. We're gonna walk the arms out just a little bit further. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, push your hips up into the sky. Reach your heels to the floor. Feel how your legs are feeling. So not hyperextended. You're gonna engage the quad muscle. Reach the heels to the floor to stretch your hips up. And then notice what your shoulders are doing. So I like to push the floor away with my palms and my fingers to reach my shoulders up to kind of hug the sides of my head. But you want to make sure that your arms are not winging out to the side, like no armpits out, armpits in. And feel the activation in your back. And just notice this triangle shape you're making with your body, and take a few deep breaths. And now we're going to move to our plank. So take a deep breath in. And still with strong shoulders, strong hips, exhale. Use your glutes to press your hips forward, maybe with straight legs, engaging your quads, squeeze your butts. Now the weight is transferred a little bit forward in your palms here. Make sure your arms are right underneath your shoulders. Make sure you're not going into your hyperflexion. You're actively pushing the floor away. Your shoulders should feel supported by the muscles. Engage your quads, stretch your legs straight, send energy out through your heels. Take 2 deep breaths. And then set your knees to the floor. Rest the tops of your toes onto the floor. Bring your toes together. Sink your hips onto your heels. So rounded back, curved spine, forehead onto the floor. Relax your arms. Take 2 deep breaths. And then keep your hips onto your heels as much as you can. Chin stays into your chest. Roll up through your spine, 1 vertebrae at a time, bringing your head up last. We have time for feet. So if you have your rag, let's do our feet really fast. So I wanted to pay attention to feet because I have pronated feet so that my arch is like flat. So this is a really good one for the arch and just kind of getting the muscles of the feet to work because, you know, like I said, if they don't work all the time, they're not gonna know how to make you stand better. So this one, I sit on the floor. I've got my rag. You can't see. And I'm gonna make it long. And then I'm gonna use my footy muscles, my toes, to scrunch the entire rag underneath. So that's why I said you can use a dirty rag, unless you have super clean feet. So this one really helped me a lot to get my arch of my foot to understand what the heck was going on, especially in my left side. My left side has more hyperflexion than my right side. So my left needs special attention. So always give your body special attention. Take care, be mindful in your movements. You know, this is your body. This is what you're training it to do. So if you're, you know, compensating on one side, eventually stuff might happen where the imbalances add up over time. So good to take care of your body. I'm so sorry we didn't get through all the things I wanted to do, so we'll have to do, half hour is so short. But I hope everyone's body feels really good. I hope that you were able to find yourself stacked in your joints, feel supported by your muscles, especially if you have hypermobile joints. And yeah. So if you feel like you need to relax, have a nice relax, listen to your body, or if you use this as your warm-up, you are ready to go. Thank you so much for working out with me every day this week for everyone that's come. It's so good to see everyone's faces.